Hey everyone, it's Leandra at New Vocations Racehorse Adoption Program's Lexington facility for this week's installation of the Stable Pass behind the scenes at New Vocations. So today, on this beautiful day, we are over at our what we use as our rehab side. It's the Williams barn. It's part of Merriworth's property, and Merriworth Farm we work with in partnership. So we are so lucky to be able to use part of their 1,200 acres here in Lexington, Kentucky. And about 100 or so of that they let us use for our training side. And right across the street from the training side, we have the Williams barn over here where our rehabbing horses are. And these are the more hands-on rehabbing horses. So Louie here is one of the horses who lives at Merriworth Farm. And so this side of the property here that abuts what we use, they hang out in, and they have 170 horses at Merriworth Farm who are retired there. So those guys are keeping ours good company, or ours are keeping them good company maybe. But you might see all around us, there are lots and lots of turnout options here, and that is one thing that is really critical in making sure a horse is ready to start training. So many of our horses right now over here, so of the 18 to 20 stalls that we have a good chunk of them who are on stall rest. They might have just had surgeries or an acute phase of an injury, and they might need to be on stall rest for a little while. When they're ready to start segueing back into a bigger turnout, they will use one of these 4 round pens over here. You can see a couple of the residents over on this side in round pens right now, enjoying the sunshine, and they have some hay out there and they can hang out, but they're just getting used to being outside again. So after stall rest, some of them can have some pent-up energy, and so the round pen provides a really great way for us to let them get used to being outside again and be able to kick those feet up a little bit without picking up enough speed to hurt themselves, hopefully. So once they're done with the round pen side, you can see we have a little bit bigger option where they have grass, and usually they're paired up with a buddy, and so they'll start having that turnout option. Let's head into the Williams barn. It is a really beautiful older barn. For those of you who have seen the little Stable Pass videos or virtual tours where we have looked at our training side barn, that's a very new barn, and this is a very classic old school barn, and I absolutely love this style. So you can see these guys up front are some of the ones who are on stall rest still, and it is pretty common for horses at this stage to be a little excitable, just like I'm sure anybody would if they had to stay in one place for an extended amount of time. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the rehabbing process, we have to do things like a stall rest, because unlike us people who can put a cast on, who can kick up our feet, or just have sort of bed rest or be able to put our feet up, the horses don't have that option. So we have to give them a smaller space so that we can sort of teach them, put them on a rest period, because otherwise the horses probably would not choose that themselves. But we do it for their own recuperation success, but they're not usually big fans of it. So Caleb Kendab here is one of the guys who just had knee surgery. He had little chips taken out of his knees, and that's a fairly uncomplicated surgery, so they usually have pretty good success after that, just depending on the arthritic changes that might have occurred because of the chip or as a result. Ready to show here is one of my personal favorites, because he is an absolute love bug. He can be a little excited at times, but we sort of nicknamed him Black Beauty because he, as you can tell, he has a really beautiful color. And he's just a sweetheart. He likes to sort of put his head on your chest, and he'll just kind of stand there and cuddle. He's a really sweet guy. So Harmon is one of our staff members who's been here for years and years, and he keeps all these guys in order, and it's not an easy task whatsoever, because like I said, a lot of them get very excitable. So he has one of the toughest jobs to sort of manage all of that. And fortunately, right now, you can see a lot of these guys are on turnout options because they just are at the points where they can handle that, or maybe they just don't go out overnight. So we are able to moderate. You can see some of the guys who got overnight maybe are a little bit further down, but what's great is that we can keep them with their buddies so that they're always with a familiar face for the most part. This horse, Annihilate, is a really beautiful, beautiful gelding who just came in today. And we're really excited to see how he does. And a horse like him is a little bit of an in-between situation, because while he had an injury, he did some of the rehab before he came here, and they've had him jogging and doing a little bit under saddle, so we can keep him over here and evaluate him and see what his status is. He can transition to more turnout, because that's one thing that he, as we understand it, he didn't have as much turnout over there. He was just doing a little bit of jogging under saddle. But hopefully he'll be able to transition fairly quickly, and we'd love to see him over at the training side pretty soon. So these are just a few of the guys over here. Hello! Trying to figure out how he can get some FaceTime. So these are some of the guys over here at our rehab barn, the Williams barn, which is part of our partnership with Merriworth Farm that we're so, so lucky to have. And this is a little inside look at part of our process here. As those of you who know New Vocations, our pillars are rehabbing, retraining, and rehoming. So when it comes to rehabbing, this is where a great deal of it happens here in Lexington, Kentucky. So thank you so much for joining us today on this little stable pass behind the scenes look. And please tune in for future videos. You can check out our website, which is newvocations.org, and follow us through all the social media forums to get more information. Thanks so much for joining us today.